What's up guys, welcome back to a brand new build series, and you've clicked on the videos, you know what it is, and it's going to be this guy, the beautiful Special Hobby semi-second scale Viggen. And this is the JA-37. I did build the AJ-37 probably about 2 years ago now, and that's a fantastic kit. Slightly different variant of this one, but I did that leaf splinter camo in semi-second scale. It turned out really good. I was really happy. It's one of my favorite models of all time. So if I remember now, I'll put a little picture up so you guys can see that one. This one's going to be slightly different. We're going to do the version that's on the box with the red tail, red 10, I think it is. And I've got pretty much fully loaded aftermarket on this one. So we're not making it easy for ourselves. You get one big bag of sprues. There's, like I said, several different variants on this one. So to add to this, we got the obligatory canopy mask. So all this is from CMK, which is part of Special Hobby, especially Special Hobby's aftermarket kind of department, I guess. So we've got the mask, which is pretty much vital for me in semi-second scale. It's too small for me to mask myself. We got some resin wheels, pretty straightforward. Replacements. We got the ejection seat, again semi-second scales, you don't be falling around too much, so that's a nice little detail on that one. This might be a bit of a pain in the ass, but we've got control surfaces, so basically the flaps. So this will involve some major surgery. I believe when the Viggen's powered down, the flaps are down, so we've got to cut the kit wing and then replace it with these parts right here, which is a lot of risk because we screw it up, the whole kit's done. So there you go. And then also we got the metal pitot tube from Master. You can't even see that probably, but yeah, these are good little, these are real cheap, like a couple bucks or so, and these kind of nice little upgrades, especially semi-second scale with the scale effect. And that is pretty much it. So the main part of this is cutting those wings open, which does scare me doing surgery like that. So instructions are really nicely done. We'll go through them in a minute. So you can do 3 markings on this. You can do I'm doing the red 10 from October 2003. Right there. You can do this guy, just plain gray. Or you can do this one right in splinter camo, which I've done already, the leaf splinter. Done that one already. So did something a little different with this one, so it's really nice. And then you see there, it's got the 10 on the top of the wings. And there it is. So that's what we're aiming for. So this is the fighter version of the Viggen, the JA-37. Like I said, I built one of these kits before, and they are really nice kits. Nicely detailed. Let me open the bag up and kind of show you. So you can kind of see there, well, hopefully in this camera you can kind of see it's fine panel lines, really take a wash nicely and really nicely detailed. So yeah, so that's kind of what we've got ahead of ourselves. The first thing I'm going to do with this kit actually is to do the surgery and cut these flaps out, because if I screw it out, it's pointless doing anything else in the kit's ruined. So first thing I'll do is I'm cut these flaps out so we can put the aftermarket ones on. Just looking here as well, should be okay. So yeah, we'll start with that and we'll go from there. So let me clear the bench and we'll get started. Okay, so starting with this surgery for the flaps, cut one side off, made a little mistake, I cut the whole thing off and snapped off the inside too. So not a huge deal. I've got the piece and I can just glue it back on like that, hopefully. Well, I know I can, so it's not a big deal, but this bit's done. So how I did it is, I'll show you kind of roughly. I'm going to cut these larger parts, the actuators for the wings. I'm going to use a razor saw. Okay, so I'm going to cut a mill inside because I don't want to, obviously you've got to want to leave some room for sanding, and then you got nice panel lines here to cut down. So I'm just, with a very sharp blade, Just going to keep going over it 3 or 4 times. Then down the line. Okay, and then I've done it a few times and then push this back. Try not to break that part off, I can do it on the other side. Okay, let's try it again. Like that. It comes away. Now what I'm going to do then is come in with my sanding stick. It's a medium. And just going to clean it up. Clip a little bit more off camera, but that is pretty much it. So wasn't too bad. That's off. So now we can take a little, relax a little bit, deep breath. I'll get this part glued back on the other side, and we should be good to go. All right, so glued that part on, it's snapped off, and then I glued the top of these wings onto here as well. Just using my Samuel cement, the white top, the resin one, which is thicker, and a couple of pegs just to hold it down while it dries. Also cut the Pro tools, cutting these the 4 flaps off the casting blocks and sanding them down. Also, I had to sand them a little bit on the angle here so you can put them down, because they were kind of touching the block like 90 degrees, so I sanded them down a little bit so you have the angle. So it's a good clamp right now, but this one here, for example, put resin dust in there, it's going to go right like that. See how it's going to be dropped. We'll add these on obviously at the very end. This is going to fall off. We'll super glue these on at the time, but then this side too is going to go right like that. -ish. It's nice because they're made by the same company, CMK, Special Hobby. They do have all the correct, like, you know, notches and stuff in the right space to really kind of fit nicely on here. So we can definitely do it in a drop position. Cool, so let this dry for a little bit and we'll come right back. Okay, look at the instructions here. So we took care of the surgery, now we'll go back to kind of follow instructions in order. Now we've got that part done. So first of all, it's the seat. We did get the resin seat, which comes with a really nice little color call out. So let me kind of zoom in on a little bit. So if you guys don't have this and want to paint a Viggen seat, there you go, just take a look at that. So really nice color call out there for the paints. So I'll leave this on screen for a few seconds, so if you guys want to just take a note of that. Okay, so that's the seat colors. So obviously the seat's all in one. On here, it's super tiny. Zoom back out a little bit, it's a little close probably. So one thing I should note with this too is, as I mentioned, there's several different variants of this kit, and they all run with the same sprues. So if you look for the instructions here, it should help if I zoom out a little bit more. There's a bunch of red X's throughout this. So that means it's for a different version we're going to use it. So half the plastic, small plastic parts you're not going to use. So there's 3 instrument panels right here. We're going to use number 10, which is the middle one. So just pay attention to that. Cockpit tubs, we'll use number 10 for that too. There's a 9 and 8 as well. So just watch the instructions. And so J10 is what we're using for the instrument panel. And yeah, so built the seat up. Well, it's resin. So the resin seat, cockpit tub, put the control sticks in, 2 of the sticks and the foot pedals, so I don't lose them. Paint it all to one. You're not going to see any of this. You see how tiny it is compared to my hand. And then there's a side panel and instrument panel that needs to be painted up. So the color it calls out for the cockpit is 308, which is a
dark ghost gray, I think it is. I actually have this paint, so I'll use this, which is MRP NATO Gray. It's for Tornado Eurofighter interiors, MRP 96. This is good enough too for this guy too. So it's super tiny. I mean, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint the tub. I don't even bother priming it because it's so small. You're not gonna touch it or anything. So I'm gonna paint the tub. The instrument panel, see, is also the same color. But we'll paint a little bit, this little bit here is black, which we'll hand paint. So we'll paint the tub, the instrument panel grey. Also, we'll paint up the inside of the front fuselage here around the cockpit. We'll paint around that too, so it's all grey to match. And then the seat will just prime up, and we'll paint according to the colours we just talked about earlier. So it's nice that we're gonna have decals that go on here. Well, we have a decal from the instrument panel. And again, this thing's so small, you're not going to see any of this. I don't care too much about detail painting this up. So yeah, this is kind of step 1. Should note too, step 5 here, I'm not going to do it, I didn't do it with my last one either, but basically this little panel right here, which is the rat, I think, the ram air turbine, this right here, this tiny little from the inside, there's nothing on the outside, just from the inside. It tells you to cut it out and install like some detail from the inside. For me, that is too risky. Firstly, you're going from the inside, you can't get to it. You've got this panel in the way. Trying to cut that out, it seems a bit of a nightmare. So I'm not going to do that on this one. Same as the last one, I'm going to leave that closed up. And yeah, that's just too much of a risk for me for in the kit. So yeah, this first page looking pretty straightforward really. No problems at all. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and start painting some of this stuff up, and I'll be right back. Right, so painting these up, no problem at all. So paint the inside of that guy, and cockpit tub and instrument panel, like I said, with that NATO interior color, the MRP. So I did that. Seat needs to be grey, so I primed it. I'm on a little different shade, so I just used dark gold grey. I mean, you can use any kind of grey. Again, so small scale, I don't think it really matters so much. So yeah, I painted missed the surface of 1500 black is what I used to prime, and also what I used for the top here of the cockpit tub, and the black parts too. So like this little instrument panel right here. So looking good. It's super tiny. You're not gonna see much of this at all, especially when this kind of goes in the tub. Tub goes in there, so you're not going to see any of this stuff. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to, I'm just going to paint the instrument panel here. Carefully, the top bit goes black, just a little square at the top, and I'll probably paint a control stick and do a little bit of dry brushing for the butt switches and stuff. And there's actually a decal that goes on there too. So there's a decal right there that goes on the instrument panel. So let me also the seat obviously needs some. You know, the seat cushions painted and some detail painting done too. Again, super tiny. See how small it's compared to my hand. It seems so weird. I've been on a 32nd scale kit and a 35th scale aircraft kit. Last two. So switching down 72nd is yeah, it's a lot different. It's kind of funny how small it is, but tons of detail there nonetheless. But unfortunately, again, you're not really gonna see much of this stuff. So cool. So let me go ahead and continue working, getting these painted up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the cockpit tub's in, no problem at all. Yeah, put instrument panel, decal on, not being able to see any of this stuff. So that's done, and we went ahead and painted the seat, which actually looks really good. I'm happy how I hand painted that one. So follow my, as earlier, just follow my little instructions came with it, which is really nice. I wish all kits came with something like this. So colours I used were, let's see, I used dark green, a US dark green for the seat cushions. I used buff for the head cushion, headrest, I guess, and grey blue is what I used for the seat belts. So those three colours. So yeah, really happy how that turned out. So tub's in. Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and add the seat right now too. I'm not going to even, I know it sounds lazy, but I'm not even bother dry brushing or do anything with this because it's, again, the sizes we're talking here, it's just, yeah, you're not going to see any of this. So I'm all for modeling hobbies and stuff. If you're not going to see it, then generally in life, there's no point spending time doing it. So just going to put a little bit of PVA glue on the bottom because it's obviously resin. And drop my seat in. And there we go. Cool. I definitely think the seat's a nice little upgrade. The flaps too. The wheels actually look really nice in the kit, so I'm not sure it's really worth upgrading those or anything else, but those two little parts are good. Yeah. So I'm going to probably end this video right now. So this starts the first little part, get this bit done. Next time we'll come back, we'll work on getting the main assembly put together and building this kit. It's a really nice kit, semi-second scale. I like it because it's the perfect amount of detail. It's not crazy amount of stuff, but at the same time it's not like one sprue in a box. You get enough, I think, for a semi-second scale kit to keep you interested and get a really nice kit put together. So definitely recommend these Viggens. There's several different versions of them. But yeah, so let me go ahead and end this now. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.